Thermoregulation is the process of maintaining a constant body temperature. It's an example of a negative feedback loop. And in the body, all negative feedback loops have a receptor that detects the condition of the body. And in this case, the receptor is called the hypothalamus, and it's up in the base of the brain. It detects the temperature of the blood, and it has a set temperature of 37 degrees. If the temperature goes higher than that, well, it sends messages out to the body to respond, to make changes to the internal environment of the body and bring the temperature back down to 37 degrees. Equally, if the temperature decreases below 37 degrees, there's different changes. So let's work through these. If the body temperature increases above 37 degrees, then messages are sent to the skin to increase perspiration or sweating. And when that sweat evaporates off the skin, it takes heat away from the body. Next thing is that the blood vessels of the skin dilate. It's called vasodilation, or open up. So the blood vessels of the skin open up to bring more blood and more heat to the surface. That's why you often get flushed and red in the face when you're hot. Next thing is that the hair on the body lies flat on the skin to allow breeze to come through and cool the body. Finally, have you ever noticed you're not as hungry on a hot day as you are when it's cold? Well, the reason for that is that messages are sent to the body's cells to reduce your metabolic rate, reduce the rate in which glucose is burnt, because when you burn glucose it produces heat. So all of these changes bring the body temperature back down to 37 degrees. On a cold day, or when the body temperature decreases below 37 degrees, messages are sent to the body to make other changes. For example, messages are sent to the skeletal muscles to shake uncontrollably or involuntarily. And that's of course shivering. And that process of shivering is using muscles, and of course that work is producing heat as a byproduct. Next, the hairs on the skin actually rise up with goosebumps. And the idea with that is that it actually traps a small amount of air next to the skin, but stops the breeze from coming through and actually cooling the skin. The next one is that we get an increased metabolic rate. If you notice that you're hungry on a cold day but not hungry on a hot day, well, so your body's burning more glucose to produce heat. And finally, the last thing, if you notice that your lips turn blue on a cold day and your fingers feel very cold, and that's because we get vasoconstriction, or closing of the blood vessels of the skin. And it's so that you don't take the heat out to the skin and lose it through radiation. And so by those control measures, it brings the body temperature back up to 37 degrees. So it's a negative feedback loop.